Coming up on the March 25th edition of Sports Extra, bring on the madness. One UNC team survives while another one falls. We'll mourn the Kansas loss and look ahead to the rest of the women's NCAA tournament.
The weather might not be heating up, but the track team is. We'll preview the outdoor season.
And you might have seen people in the crowd wearing fake mustaches at baseball games recently, but if you take a closer look at the field, you'll see where they're getting their inspiration.
All that and more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Sweet 16. That's how many teams are still in the NCAA tournament. But the Heels aren't one of them. Instead, they left the tourney with a sour taste in their mouths. Good evening. I'm Allie Massione.
And I'm Stephanie Mockby. Sour taste indeed. It wasn't all bad for the Heels. In the first game, they shot lights out. The men's basketball team beat Villanova 78-71 in the round of 64, earning head coach Roy Williams the 700th win of his career. Williams can thank sophomore guard P.J. Hairston, who led all scorers with 23 points. His heavily bandaged hand didn't seem to be bothering him as he hit 5 of his 8 threes from beyond the arc. Some of those shots seemed to be closer to Chapel Hill than Kansas City. The Heels led by as many as 20 points in the first half before the Wildcats clawed back. But half-court Harrison, Bullock, and Page were just too much from three-point land, hitting 10 shots from downtown, more than twice as many as the entire Villanova team.
Unfortunately, a blizzard then came through Kansas City, and it wasn't just the weather that turned cold. Hairston, the hero of the game against Villanova, turned into a 0. Really, he started the game missing his first 7 shots, and he still led the team with 15 points and 9 rebounds. The Heels were up 9 going into halftime. This dunk by sophomore forward James Michael McAdoo certainly helped, but it all fell apart after that. They were outscored by 21 points in the second half and ended up getting bounced from the tournament by Kansas for the second year in a row, this time 70-58.
Mike Rodriguez, our sports basketball expert, joins us live in studio. Not that the Heels are out of the tournament. Tell me, Mike, what's next for this team and its players?
Well, it was definitely a tough loss against Kansas. Roy Williams, Kansas, Bill Self got the better of them. I think they just have to regroup. Next year, they'll have a lot. They'll be more mature, and I think they'll be ready for a deep run.
I mean, we all hope so. Do you think anybody will be leaving for the NBA?
Well, Mason Plumlee from Duke is going to be leaving for the NBA. Shane Larkin's about 50-50 according to ESPN. But seriously, Dexter Strickland, I think, is the only person we should be losing. James Michael McAdoo was a top 3 pick last year. I mean, his stock has plummeted, and I just don't see it.
So now let's look at the rest of the teams in the tournament. Who do you have making it to the Final Four?
Well, on the left side of the bracket, I have Michigan State in the Final Four. You just can't bet against Tom Izzo. It seems every year in and year out. I mean, he's honestly, you might as well just pencil him and pen him in. Other part of that bracket, Ohio State. They haven't lost since February 17th. I really like Marquette from the Big East. They know how to win close games. And I think they'll just continue to do that until they play Florida, who just seems to be blowing everybody out right now. And actually, that's my pick for the national champion.
Okay, but even if you're right, I know my bracket is shot. How's yours looking? I know they threw that FSG up there for you.
Yeah, mine's pretty terrible right now, I have to admit. But some of our March Madness bracket competition participants are looking pretty spot on. We asked Sports Extra viewers and staffers to join in, and the competition has heated up. Reporter Evan Badler currently holds the top spot. He's 94% better than every other bracket, correctly predicting almost all of the Midwest bracket and most of the South and East brackets. His national champion, Kansas, we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm way down at the bottom of the standings in last place, I have to admit. Hopefully I'll get a redo later on. We'll keep you posted as the tournament progresses and more brackets crumble.
I don't think my bracket could crumble anymore, but thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
With your last place, I don't know if we can call you expert there, but that was Mike Rodriguez live in the studio. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
In our This Week in Carolina History segment, we take a look back at one of men's basketball's 6 NCAA tournament titles. On March 29, 1982, Dean Smith and the Heels defeated Georgetown 63-62 to take the national title. The game had 15 lead changes, but a jumper by UNC freshman Michael Jordan with 17 seconds left secured the Tar Heel victory.
But a team a little more recent is still on the hunt for a national title. The third-seeded Lady Heels squeaked out a 59-54 win against 14-seed Albany Sunday afternoon. They trailed 26-23 at the half, but Coach Hatchell's seniors were determined to step up and keep the team from being sent home. Tiara Ruffin-Pratt had a career-high 30 points, including 17 of the Heels' last 21 points during their second-half rally. Fellow senior Waltia Roll had 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 blocks in the first-round win. The Heels play again Tuesday night versus 6th-seeded Delaware. Let the countdown begin. There are 157 days until UNC's first football game of the season against South Carolina Gamecocks.
And the football team is putting those days to good use. The team had its first spring practice in full pads on Wednesday and will now practice 3 days a week until it's time for the spring game. Coach Larry Fedora is pleased with how his team has been doing and said his players are already in good tempo. He looks forward to next season and the challenge of playing without Giovanni Bernard.
Well, I promise you somebody's going to take his place. You know, now whether they'll have the same production, I can't tell you that. But, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's by committee or if it's one guy, we'll still be really productive. You know, I would say right now, you know, Blue and Romar are leading in that group. They're getting the most reps. But I've been impressed with Chris Francis and what he's been able to do.
You can see how far this group of Heels has come when they hit Kenan Stadium for the spring game on Saturday, April 13th.
The football season doesn't bring just tailgates and touchdowns. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell paid a visit to UNC to discuss safety concerns in football. Ryan O'Rourke reports.
The Enforcer. That's the nickname NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has for his strict policies and rule changes, including fines and suspensions for hits on defenseless players. Commissioner Goodell recently visited UNC's campus to deliver the annual Carl Blythe Lecture, where he spoke about improving player safety in the NFL.
Our commitment has been and will continue to be to change the culture of football to better protect players without changing the essence of what makes the game so popular.
You can see this commitment is in the NFL's collective bargaining agreement with players, which sets aside $100 million for medical research in the next decade.
We will continue to make rule changes, invest in innovative protective equipment, and provide our medical staffs with the tools and authority to protect the players on the field. The rule in our league is very simple. Medical decisions override everything else.
This past week, NFL owners passed a new rule forbidding players from using the crown of their helmets to hit players. A UNC professor who chairs the NFL subcommittee on safety equipment and player rules, Dr. Kevin Geskovitz, believes the game is much safer today than in the past.
The statistics may be misleading in that we may see a higher concussion incidence, but that's reported incidence. And so the fact that more players are reporting those injuries today than they were 3 or 4 years ago, I think speaks volumes.
Geskovitz and Goodell agree that improving player safety will add to the already outstanding popularity of the league. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ryan O'Rourke.
The best really is yet to come for the NFL. UNC great Giovanni Bernard and other top Tar Heel grads should be joining the league after the draft, April 25th.
As the semester starts to wind down, basketball teams aren't the only ones competing for a national championship. The wrestling team finished 22nd at the Wrestling Championships. It's the team's best finish since placing 21st in 1996. The women's swimming team finished 12th this weekend. That's the Heels' best finish since finishing 9th back in 2001. And the fencing team placed 13th at the NCAA Championships, 1 spot behind Duke. February 9th, that's the last time the women's lacrosse team lost a game.
We'll look at how the team streak kept going strong after the break.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. ROWDY.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Welcome back. The men's lacrosse team managed to make turtle soup of #1 ranked University of Maryland this past Saturday. The key to their win was freshman goalkeeper Kieran Burke, who matched his career high with 15 saves. The Tar Heels went on a 6-0 scoring run to make the score 8-2 in the opening minutes of the third quarter. Despite the Terrapins' attempts to come back, the Tar Heels held on to the lead with the final score of the game 10-8. This is only the second time since 1996 that the Tar Heels have beaten a #1 seeded team. The men's lacrosse team has 2 home games this week. They take on Brown Wednesday at 6 p.m. under the lights at Fetter Field, and 11th-ranked Johns Hopkins at noon on Saturday in Kenan Stadium.
Here to talk about that big win against Maryland and the challenging week ahead is senior captain Marcus Holman. Thanks for being with us today. What does the team look to work on going into 2 big games this week against Brown and number 11 ranked Johns Hopkins?
Yeah, we're just excited. We have a short week. We're preparing hard for Brown on Wednesday night, and we really just want to keep the momentum going from our big win over Maryland this past weekend.
And how important is it that you win these games coming up?
Yeah, like I said, we definitely want to keep the momentum rolling. We know we have 2 very good opponents this week. It's probably our biggest week of the year so far, and we're just going to take it one game at a time, obviously starting with Brown Wednesday night. They're a very good team. I think they've won 5 straight games, so they're going to be coming in with some momentum of their own, and we're just going to try to play fast from that opening whistle.
And UNC is hosting the ACC Championships in Kenan Stadium. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to that. What does the team need to focus on going into this championship?
It's kind of far down the road, but we're just continuing to get better each week. We don't want to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We just want to keep developing and continue to get better, and hopefully, we're peaking towards the end of the season, and we can compete for an ACC championship on our home field in Kenan Stadium.
Thanks again, Marcus, for joining us, and good luck this week against some stiff competition. The women's lacrosse is on fire. Is Katniss Everdeen playing for Carolina?
I don't know, Allie. Maybe they don't need a Hunger Games hero. The Heels won their 9th game in a row on Saturday. The 3rd-ranked Tar Heels took an early lead. UNC led 7-0 before Boston College responded with a goal. The Heels dominated the play in the first half, and their momentum continued into the second, Carolina adding the first 4 goals to the scoreboard after the break. The reserves finished the game. Boston College scored the final 5 goals, but ultimately joined the list of teams leaving Fetter Field in defeat.
We asserted ourselves early. I think it was 7 or 8-0 before they got on the board. I thought we did a good job in transition, on the draw. In the first half, I thought we moved the ball really well. I thought we shared the ball. I thought we played smart. I thought we did great stuff for 50 minutes.
The team won the game 19-11 with so many goals, we couldn't pick just one player of the week. So Brittany Copa and Kara Cannizzaro are this week's players of the week. Copa led the team in goals. She scored the first goal of the game in the first 4 minutes. Then Copa scored 4 more goals for the Heels. Senior captain Kara Cannizzaro tapped on 4 points for the Heels. She had 1 assist and took only 5 shots. Her aggressiveness was essential to the team's offensive flow.
Another group of Lady Tar Heels are on a winning streak. The women's tennis team continues to roll after a win over an in-state rival. The Heels beat NC State 4-3 in Raleigh Thursday night. The #1 Tar Heels came back from the Wolfpack courts with a hard-fought away win and had to battle for more than 4 hours before getting their second victory in the ACC. Coach Brian Calbus was pleased to see his players win in such a difficult situation.
You know, it's a typical ACC match when you're playing at their home court, and you know, we hadn't been indoors in a little while, so had to get used to the environment. The fans are right there on the courts. You know, it's just a difficult situation. So I'm very happy with the result and the way our team showed up.
And during the weekend, the ladies earned another important 4-3 win against #11 Northwestern in their last non-conference match. Chapel Hill might not be the city of brotherly love,
but Tar Heel track and field might be the team of brotherly love. We'll explain.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
A disappointing weekend for the women's gymnastics team. The Heels took 5th place in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League Championship Saturday. UNC hosted the league's largest competition of the year in Carmichael Arena, where 8 teams competed for the title, including ACC rivals Maryland and NC State. The Lady Heels performed exceptionally well on floor, where freshman Lexi Capali placed second with a score of 9.85. NC State earned the Eagle Championship title. Despite some falls by the Heels, head coach Derek Galvin was upbeat.
I'm really pleased with the energy that they brought, with the enthusiasm. They certainly put everything they had into it. We just had a couple mistakes on beam that made the difference.
One gymnast had reason to be energetic for the meet. Each year before the championship, the East Atlantic Gymnastics League honors a distinguished athlete with the Gymnast of the Year award.
The 2013 Gymnast of the Year is a Tar Heel, senior Elizabeth Durkak, who now joins us live in the studio. Thanks for being with us here, Elizabeth.
So you're certainly deserving of this honor, winning Eagle Gymnast of the Week 4 times this year. What does this award mean to you?
It's great. I was very happy to receive the award, but I honestly could not have done any of it without my team, because I wouldn't be anything without them at all the meets.
For sure. And I know the championships might have been a little bit disappointing for you guys. Take us back there and tell me what happened on Saturday.
We started on bars, which is our strongest event, and usually when you start on your strongest event, you get lower scores, if that makes sense. And we started off really strong on bars. We only had 1 fall. We didn't have to count a fall. And that carried over to the beam. And once again, the beam kind of is where we went downhill. And then we picked it back up on floor and vault and ended strong.
You guys did awesome on floor. I was there. And you guys just found out today that you're going to West Virginia for regionals next Saturday. How is the team preparing for the upcoming regionals?
This is the first time since January, when the season started, that we've had a weekend off. So this week we get to really focus on numbers and details, and we'll have 2 weeks to prepare for regionals coming up next Saturday.
Great. And just lastly, this being your senior year, tell me, what are your plans for after Carolina?
I actually just got accepted into the Teach for America program.
Congratulations.
So that's what I'm going to do for the next 2 years.
Congratulations. Well, thank you for being with us today. And that was Elizabeth Durkak live in the studio.
The weather is warming up.
And so is the track and field team as it gears up for the outdoor season. Evan Badler knows what and who to watch for.
After finishing in the top half of the conference in February's indoor ACC championship, head coach Harless Metters says his first season at Carolina wasn't a disappointment.
It was a successful season for us. We're definitely a better team today than we were prior to the start of the indoor season.
Metters points to improved team chemistry as a reason to be optimistic about the upcoming season.
I think we grew a lot as a team, and that was really what our basis was for this year, to try to make us a little bit stronger family unit.
The Heels are looking to build on several standout individual performances, led by senior Krishawn Williams earning All-America honors in the women's long jump. Assistant coach Nicole Hudson says Williams' teammates are extremely proud of her and hopes to use her success to push themselves in practice and during meets.
It's a matter of competing against each other and say, okay, if she can do it, I can do it.
The spring brings new opportunities to a few Tar Heels, as the outdoor season includes the 400-meter hurdle race, a historically strong event for Carolina. 25-year-old freshman Houston Summers will also get his first chance to throw the javelin in competition. He's one of several Heels who didn't compete in the indoor season, something Hudson says works to the team's advantage.
I think the exciting part about outdoor is not just continuing the momentum of indoor, but you have some kids who have been on the team, have been practicing since August, and now they get to do their thing.
As for those who have already had a taste of success in competition,
stay hungry and let's go get it.
The Heels will certainly need to bring their appetites to reclaim the top spot in the ACC. In Chapel Hill, I'm Evan Badler.
The men's and women's track and field teams are already off to a solid start for their outdoor seasons. They hosted the Kent Taylor Invitational this past weekend and placed first in 16 different events. Next up, both teams will compete in the Raleigh Relays at NC State this weekend. You might hear athletes talk about their team as a family.
For two UNC decathletes on the track and field team, that's more than just a metaphor. Julian Caldwell reports.
Brothers Ryan and John Ramsey have been sharing laughs, hobbies, and more since younger brother John started his first year at UNC in the fall.
Well, he actually lives in my room from freshman year, like just by coincidence, in Carmichael.
Yeah, I got assigned to the exact same room.
That was by chance, but it's no mistake that John picked up track as a junior in high school and followed his brother to Chapel Hill from home in Kentucky.
The fact that my dad did it and he was good at it, and that Ryan did it and was good at it. Basically, I hadn't been playing any other sports, so I just wanted to get involved with something, and so I did track.
John fractured his ankle in the fall and has missed his entire first season. Ryan, a junior at UNC, plays the supportive big brother role now, but admits that he's also been on the other end of his brother's injuries in the past.
I drove Power Wheels up a tree. He fell out of the back and got stitches on his forehead. And then, like a week later, I threw a boomerang and it hit you in the head, and you had to get stitches on that. So I felt bad, but in hindsight, it's pretty funny.
Now, as big kids in college, they work together to prank their teammates.
I filled up a big pot of water and put ice cubes in it, and then he got some eggs. And then we opened the door to the shower, I poured all the water on him, and he threw the eggs at him, and it was hilarious.
With John scheduled for another week and a half of rehab, the brothers are looking to next season to not only prank together, but place together too. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julian Caldwell.
Ryan Ramsey placed second in the javelin throw and was part of the second place 4x400 relay at the Kent Taylor Invitational this weekend. Stash Bash, that's what the month of March has been for the baseball team.
The hairy details coming up after the break.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
Packers,
Vikings, Red State, Blue State.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
But when we live united, we create real lasting change in the education, income, and health of our country.
United.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
My dad's one of the producers. He's there tonight. Bring this week.
How do you spell domination? UNC-BASEBALL. This weekend, the Diamond Heels hosted Boston College. The series moved to Chapel Hill because of unplayable field conditions in Chestnut Hill. On Saturday, the #1 ranked Tar Heels swept Boston College in a doubleheader. UNC dominated the Eagles in the first game, winning 11-0, and their momentum carried on into the second game. They beat BC again 5-2. Between having to change locations for the series and the game being rained out on Sunday, Coach Mike Fox was happy that his team even got the chance to play twice this weekend.
We needed to play. You know, not playing is the worst thing in baseball, just sitting. It's hard to practice at this time of year.
It means March Madness for the sports world and the beginning of ACC play for the top-ranked UNC baseball team.
But a closer look at the team shows another March meeting for the Diamond Heels. Marilyn Payne tells us more.
Head coach Mike Fox is in his 15th season coaching North Carolina's baseball team and enforces a strict clean-shaven policy year-round for his team, except for in the month of March. No one knows for sure how Fox agreed to the exception to the rule. His best guess, a player strategically suggested it after a big win.
I probably just didn't even think about it, and then the mustaches started growing, and then I just didn't stop it.
Not all the players participate in growing mustaches, but the month allows them all to be part of a Carolina baseball tradition, even if it's a silly one.
It's always something that kind of brings the team together and kind of lightens the mood, and it's just a fun thing that we all do together.
The guys do admit to competition, though. Chris Munley power-ranked some of the top stashes, listing himself, fellow pitchers Trevor Kelly and Benton Moss all in the top group. But second baseman Mike Solk feels he has the most mischievous mustache of all.
I think I'm leading right now. I'm leading.
Even Diamond Heels family members and fans are participating in Mustache March. Some sported fake mustaches just like this one to games this month.
Players looking to make a strong statement with their stashes go so far as dyeing them each week with one goal in mind.
Just look as foolish as possible. I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's definitely not something to take serious.
No matter how seriously the guys on the team take the trend, one thing won't change: Fox's March-only mustache policy. But will he ever participate in the off-the-field play?
Oh, gosh, no. I have like the worst ever. I mean, perhaps, but yeah, maybe. The older I get, the less I care about certain things, so perhaps so.
Coach Fox says him with a mustache would not be a pretty sight, and soon they'll all look like him again because April is just around the corner.
I just have to kind of remind them, hey, it's probably time for you to find a razor.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Marilyn Payne.
Coach Fox isn't sure exactly how many years excuse me, I'm sorry, ago his players started Mustache March, but he says this year's seniors are taking the hairy tradition to new, longer lengths.
But does the facial hair help or hurt the team's play? Let's find out with a look at the season's hidden stat. In 3 completed seasons since the year seniors have been at Carolina, the Tar Heels averaged 34%, and during the month of March this season logged And oh, sorry, we're out of time, but thanks for being with us today, and good night.
Have a good evening.